Don't touch me like you know me.
Yeah. Shouldn't you introduce yourself first?
Can I push your stool in? Hey, let's have dinner first.
It's
and
tight.
see how it
It's
goes.
tight.
That's what I hear.
Keep it over here. All right.
Oh,
it's recording now, but I can always cut out the noise.
Oh, you don't have to.
Stuff, right?
Fucking be silly.
Nothing wrong with that. All right. So, Mark, you need to talk to that like you're on stage. There you go.
Yeah.
Put your lips
Perfect.
right on there.
Check
There,
book.
just turn, loosen that up. Just go back and
Dave
forth.
was just
with
kind of like, Gail, that's what you're supposed to tell me. Get your lips right on there.
it. Right on
Just
there.
loosen that up and go back and forth when you're getting ready to go.
Easy now.
This might be another one that gets us canceled.
This one too.
Hard to control them damn comedians.
It is
Yeah.
very hard to control them, especially when they're like four locos deep each.
And lead singers, really. I mean, lead singers.
I was going to say
Yeah.
frontmen aren't easy.
We got one of those tonight, so here we go.
Seamus, did you say frontmen aren't easy?
Frontmen, well, let me quantify.
Here we go.
Let me quantify this. I prefer slut to whore. I don't get paid. So let's just leave it there.
Fair enough. Rock and roll, brother.
Okay, thank you, and have a good night.
Right, there we go.
Well, that brings up a
Sums
whole
it up.
new topic, because other than that, I don't want to be a whore. I mean, I want to be paid for my work.
Yeah, well, I don't consider it work. That's the deal.
It's a good time. That sounds like.
Oh, shit.
Guys, welcome to the Roadkill
Here we go.
Podcast. Welcome to the Roadkill Podcast. My name is Laurel. I'm your host. And on the other end, we have Mr. Mark Roadkill, drums down over there on the other end. We've got some guests here from the Never Too Late band. We've got David Cook. We've got Seamus McNasterson.
I should have had to be it live.
There you go. Perfect. And Gail
What he
Cook,
said.
drummer. Say it one more time for me, bud.
Seamus McNasterson. You got to
McNasterson.
say it like that loud. You got to have a wee bit of a lilt with you.
Masterson.
And grab some whiskey or a beer when you say it.
I just really want you to say, they're after me, Lucky Charms.
They're after me.
By the way,
Okay.
cool ass tankard. That thing's awesome.
It's leather, man. I love this thing. It's my
No
Celtic
shit,
nut.
really?
Yeah. Check it out.
Dude, that's badass as shit. Where'd you pick that up?
At a Renfest one year when I was
Walmart.
absolutely blasted out of my mind.
Walmart, $9.99.
That's why yours is as
Oh,
cool as
shit.
mine.
I'm going to send you home with some bracers tonight. You're going to like it.
I've got 2 pair already.
There you go.
And a
Valerie
sporran
might
and,
like-
and about 6
Do
kills.
you have a pair with knives in them?
No, I don't.
Then I got your ass covered.
Here
we go.
Great.
That's what we need. Fuel for
We're
this
making
fire.
friends tonight.
So back where we were.
back where we were. Yeah. So, folks, the Never Too Late band. You guys reached out to me. Phoenix 5 kind of connected all of us together. Phoenix and Joe. One of them, shout out to Phoenix and Joe.
Yeah.
Phoenix
Cool.
5, fantastic
guys.
people. We love you all. We need to get them on the show sometime. They've done a live show with us, but we need to get them on a proper show sometime soon here. But so the Never Too Late band. What a cool show! I mean, first off, I know that a lot of the I don't want to call it decoration, props, I guess is the best word for it.
Yeah.
And intricacies of some of the things, like the fog bubbles, the laser lights, all that stuff. I understand that's mostly you.
Actually, no.
No.
That's not me at all.
Has nothing to do with him.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood. And
No.
this is why we ask
Yeah,
questions.
he's just the front guy.
It's
Yeah.
in, it's in my house.
Right.
But that is actually my lovely lady. Goes by Pinky Jones.
Pinky Jones?
She does all the lighting, the wee lad blow ups, the bubbles, the bubble guns, the
rings,
jelly
The lighter
rings.
rings.
All
dingle
of
danglies.
that stuff. That's all her thing, and she loves doing it. She just has a ball. She's the one that does all our flyers,
That's awesome.
and she just loves doing it. She loves being behind the scenes and having a good time.
Oh, dude! I mean,
Super important.
when I came out to work with you guys at the Bike Week show, Bike Night show, I should say, not Bike Week, Bike Night. It was just it didn't feel like a parking lot that we were playing with a bunch of motorcycles around. It felt like a proper show, and you guys turned 6 parking spaces into a real stage, and that was awesome to see. So shout out to the lovely Mrs. and her hard work on that, because it's paying dividends.
Here.
But
Yes, Val.
Here's the Val.
Val, you're killing it. We need to talk. Because I do a lot of stuff like that. I run live sound, and I want to get into learning how to do lighting more intricately and make it more badass and awesome. So I want to learn that side of things, but she's just got such a good mind for it, and it really helps emphasize you guys. And that's the next point I was going to make. As cool as all that stuff is, and it is cool, you're putting lights and attention on the act itself. And if you put all that lights and attention on the act, and the act isn't good, you're highlighting a not so good act. Yeah. So
yes.
the other big compliment that I want to pay is that all that light and attention is shining on an act that's really good and a lot of fun because of all you guys in the band. I mean, Tommy getting out there and recruiting people to sing a song and come up on stage, freaking the wicked guitar playing from Scott, your showmanship and running around and passing out the jelly rings, and then just being a very energetic and inclusive.
The kilt helps. Everybody wonders. You know.
Everybody, well,
Yeah.
I want to get into that in a second, so don't get ahead of me here. Well, I don't want to get into it. Okay?
Don't be afraid of it, lad. It can be your
No
friend.
wonder he saved the best. No wonder he saved us for last.
I was chasing kilts all over the world. I went over to Ireland, and boy, was I surprised.
We don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
You wear your kilt proper.
I am.
You're going to jump straight to it?
Oh yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. The only thing an Irishman...
Don't sit on an aluminum bench.
The only thing an Irishman wears beneath his kilt is boots. I'll just say that.
Or it'd be a skirt.
Everybody's lucky we got pants on.
If you wore something beneath it, it would be a
If you wore something beneath it.
We got the tablecloth just to make sure when you were sitting down, the camera didn't catch any attention.
Well, I didn't know we had it tonight.
What size you want to borrow mine?
But no, the kilt actually brings up an interesting point that I found fascinating, because you fairly recently only discovered your heritage and kind of dove into it.
Yeah, it's to be brief. In my military days, they told me be brief, brother. So let's try to be brief on it.
Included in this.
Yeah, that shut up. I was adopted as an infant out of Oklahoma. They don't release records. Never really cared about it. Never went looking for them or none of that stuff. I thought about it for a while, and I found a lawyer that could get me some information, but he'd get me a surname and a form letter to the oldest living relative on record saying that the record had been opened. And my luck, it's Smith. And that doesn't do me any good. I don't care. The lovely Pinky Jones, again, shout out. She bought me a DNA testing for my birthday one year, and came back 98% Northern Ireland.
Wow,
that's not a lot of gray area.
No,
that's pretty specific.
Yeah.
So I just ran with it, and then my favorite story to follow after that. Sorry, I love stories.
That 2%.
That's the whole point of the show.
That 2%'s a problem. Though.
Yeah, the 2%. Well, I'm 0.02% Congolese. So don't be talking smack on me. I can claim African American.
I got all kinds of shit going on in my head.
But I'm just thinking
that's all I'm saying.
We all can.
That's all I'm saying.
Seamus, I was going to say, are you sure? Because that kilt looked awful short.
I'm just saying. Touche, my brother.
I've never seen him with nothing to say.
I know.
Do we have this on film right now?
Yeah, interrupted my story. So I'm sitting up at a bar in Colorado where we lived up on the backside of Horsetooth Reservoir up in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah, I know Horsetooth.
And little tiny dirt wood bar, biker bar. The only business they get are the locals and bikes that come through, right? Mm-hmm. And the daytime bartender, his name was Sturt. That's how he talked like that. And then his name was Stuart, and he was first generation off the boat from Glasgow, Scotland.
Wow.
I mean, just old dude, great time. We're sitting around drinking, having, talking about whiskey, talking about brewing beer and all that. And I told him the genetics story, and he looks me dead in the eye and he goes, "Oi, lad, let me tell you something. Any Scotsman or Irishman that's over 6 foot, he's a fucking Viking because they raped us all. So I have some Viking in me." That's my newest. That's my newest ink. That's my Valkyrie,
Nice.
and I've got Hugin and Munin, the Odin's Ravens, and then I've got I like my ink. I got the Celtic Knots, and
That's awesome, man.
So I embrace both.
To be able to lean into your heritage like this, I'm adopted myself.
That's what I understood. Yeah.
And my wife, shout out to Jane. I like you. I never really had much of a need. My adopted family adopted me as an infant. Side little story: my adopted mother got to be in the room when I was born, and she likes to brag about that. And I always like to undercut her and say most moms were.
Not such a big deal.
Yeah.
That's kind of an asshole move, right? That's kind of an asshole move.
A little bit. I'll be honest. Sorry, Mom. Love you. But she is my mom. But in the past 3 years now, we've made contact with my biological mom. Turns out I'm mostly Italian, but I'm also like 20% Hawaiian, which is really weird.
Your wife was telling me Hawaiian,
Yeah. So, yeah.
Then you find out in Hawaii.
What was it?
Then you find out in Hawaii.
Yeah, I found out in
Yeah,
Hawaii.
that's
And
crazy.
Manaluka
That's what-
Wanalanuki.
Yeah. Wanalata was the big highlight for
He doesn't
that
have
one.
Loudoun County run around the grass most of the time.
Yeah, no.
And he's in his. You guys are
They turn into grass chaps real fast.
You gotta have that pop-up blocker.
What have we got ourselves into here?
I don't know.
But it's really cool to kind of, as an adopted kid, to kind of hear some of those cool stories of people connecting with their heritage. I mean, my wedding band tattoo is from the Hawaiian tribe that I'm descended from.
Nice.
I don't have any Viking in me, but at least not tonight. But, I just got done doing a whole show with a bunch of comedians. I'm sorry.
See, if you were cuter, I'd have said,
Oh.
"Do you want some?" But
All right, Gail, you ready?
We're going to stop right there. We're going to move on. So, Gail, getting back to talk about Never Too Late.
Clean this up, Gail. Clean this up.
I'm going to try, but I don't know.
So,
I'm not
but,
clean all the time.
Detroit PD. Right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I got the right city this time.
Detroit, a suburb of Detroit.
Okay, which
Yeah.
suburb?
A city called Madison Heights, just north of Detroit.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your services. I think a lot of us here can feel the exact same way. Thank you very much for your time as a police officer. And that's a hard line of work. But police officer to rock band drummer singer.
Yeah.
Tell me about how that happened. Where did that come from?
Well, okay. Let me explain a little bit. So when I was growing up, grew up in a very religious family. My dad, we as a family from the time I was probably 6 years old, we traveled singing gospel music all over. As we got older, I was a piano player. My brother was a drummer. I wanted to play the drums, but he couldn't play the piano, so I had to play the piano. I know it's always been
still
this
pissed
way.
off
Yeah.
about it.
Still a little pissed
She's
off.
angry. She's redhead. She doesn't let that shit go.
No,
And she
So-
was a girl.
and that was a girl, right? Girls didn't play drums,
Play the piano.
and
Right.
when I first got in my profession, they were just starting to hire women in the suburbs of the big cities. So I was doing something that most women don't do, did that whole career thing. And I said, finally, I retired. We were traveling. I picked up playing drums. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I've always been that kind of person that's like, I'm going to do what you're not supposed to do, what women are not supposed to do.
Does that technically make you a beat cop?
I was a beat cop. I worked on the road for 20
I was making a drum.
Hang on.
I know. I'm too serious.
I
Too
got it.
serious. Do it. Come on. Yes. I know. It's not fun. It's not. It's
No,
a
you're fine.
story.
It was fun. That's super cool. So, going from Detroit, then how did you two meet?
We met in high school.
Yeah, we were-
Yeah, she was chasing me all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Handcuffs in hand.
Isn't that the way the story goes? Isn't that the way?
Yeah, that's his side of the
Okay.
story.
Anyway, yeah, we met in high school, so we were high school sweethearts.
That's awesome.
We've been
Yeah,
together
so-
a long
been
time.
together.
So you were in construction, right?
I was a contractor builder. Yeah.
So how did you get into that versus being a cop when you were,
Well,
since you were together since?
I imagine you probably had some contact with cops just on the other end, right? On the other side of that badge.
excuse me, this is my story. Yeah, I mean, I just got involved in it as a young guy, working with. Actually, her dad was a contractor as well. He was a fireman, but all firemen have a second job. So he was a contractor. I got involved in doing some contracting work with him, and then just went off on my own and started my own business. And that's what I did for 28 years, I guess. So
Sounds like you did pretty well with it too.
yeah, we had a good time. You know, it was fun
Good
at
time.
first, and miserable at the end, like all jobs.
So,
I don't know.
I'm loving
My
this
job
one.
was that miserable.
Until it
That's
gets
What's
it.
that?
I don't know if my job is that miserable.
Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Which one? This one or the last one?
The last one, the plea. I love my job. I actually did.
Yeah.
Most,
I really did.
most, especially career cops that I've met, they've all said they absolutely love their job. But the one common thing they've all said is that they had to find some way to separate the cop in them and like the spouse, friend, and husband.
Absolutely.
You have to find
Yeah.
a space to do that.
Yeah.
A friend of mine up in Jacksonville, Florida, he was Air Force first, and then he was a Jacksonville PD for a long, long time. And he once told me, he goes, I always told my guys on the force, you gotta find a place and a way to turn off the cop. Because if you don't, you're going to go nuts. You're going to be paranoid, and you're not going to have a good time, and you're going to start to hate your job.
Yeah.
And you got to find, what was that space? Was it drums for you that helped you find that space?
No, it wasn't back then. I wasn't playing drums. Actually, I didn't play drums I played when I was really young, briefly, on my brother's drum set. Briefly.
When he wasn't looking.
Yeah, exactly. And then I never touched a drum until I was maybe
9 years ago.
Yeah, 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
somebody turned her on to it back in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And so invited her to a Cajun jam, and she said, I haven't played drums in 25 years. And he says, it doesn't matter, just come and play. And so she did, and that's how it started.
That's awesome.
that's how it started.
Yeah.
Playing Cajun music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we hear some more Cajun in the band then? One time? That's like, because we were
we
talking.
can't sing French. Most Cajun music is in French.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But-
Do you know French?
It's easy to. You just mumble stuff
You
like
just
you're from.
And I
from
just
Louisiana.
exhausted my limit of Spanish.
You're kind of right. You're kind of right.
Are you
what?
trying to do a
It's-
Cajun accent?
No.
Oh, don't start that! Don't start that, Boudreaux. I'll tell you all about some
That's
that
right.
Cajun. I'm gonna tell you what I'm done
Boy,
did.
that Cajun accent sounds more like you burn your tongue on some gumbo, boy. That sounds
Yeah.
terrible down there. What was you growing?
Thibodeau.
It's hot now, I guarantee.
Fuck y'all, I can cook boudin. So,
This man cooked boudin balls for a dinner jam he had here at the house, and
I
then
love
after we
boudin
were halfway
balls.
through eating it, he goes, "You want to guess what the secret ingredient is?" And we all went, "What?" And he goes, "Squirrel like shot in the backyard." And I was like, "I thought it was a joke." I was like,
But
"That's funny."
that
no,
is very,
no joke.
that's very
Well,
Cajun. That is very Cajun.
Well, I didn't have no nutria rat.
No, well,
Well, yeah.
So,
Let me tell-
got to shoot squirrel.
Well, let me tell you,
Squirrels
those
next
people eat anything that runs across their backyard. So,
Yes, they do.
so you're fine.
Dude,
I
I,
mean,
stayed
there's
in a
something to be said
house
for that.
in Louisiana, and it had dirt floors.
Yeah.
Yeah, not uncommon.
So one
So
night I was dirt floor poor.
He's got proper floors now. This is a brand new setup. He just put this together over the past couple months, and this studio is the
nice,
first time
nice little shack,
Sweet,
man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm
Nice
still
little shack.
poor.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool.
coming
And
together,
I got
man.
a floor.
Got a floor. It's not
it's
dirt.
not dirt. It's not
Oh, I
dirt.
didn't know.
But no, you and Mark have similar stories of picking up drums late in life. You said that you played drums really young. It was just
No.
air drums or whatever.
No,
Is that what
yeah.
you said?
I played air drums for 35 years. But I played a friend's drum. The story is, I played his drums once. We were drinking. It was young kid stuff. he says I played with butter knives because I didn't have sticks, but I'm pretty sure I had sticks in my car. But we were
But we
drinking.
can't confirm this, right?
No.
No.
Neither side of the story, I think. Well, it's 50 years later. I don't know. But yeah, I always wanted to play drums, but I was taught to work, not to play.
Yeah.
You know, there's nobody in my immediate family that played instruments or would lead me in that direction. But, you know, everybody thinks I'm a damn redneck, which, okay, I'm no class redneck. But
I ain't arguing with him. I ain't arguing with him.
I don't even hunt or fish or do any redneck stuff, but
That's a state of mind, brother.
it is.
I know, playing drums with butter knives, that might qualify.
So
I'm just saying.
that's the only time we
Spread
ever
the
played.
beat around,
So
right?
back to the present. You know, after I had a business and we lost it, and I had health conditions and stuff. So I was forced into retirement, and one of my bucket list things was to learn how to play drums because I always wanted to play. So I bought a kit and it sat in the garage for the first 2 years because it's hot in the garage.
Is it one of these?
No, there's some cool stuff back here.
Yeah, he's got some cool stuff.
But one day I asked Connie if she'd let me bring the kit in the house because we got a corner in the living room that wasn't worth a shit for anything else for 30 years.
There's a
So
wrench kit sitting over there right now. Is that what I saw? Yeah.
yeah, I got to put new heads on it. But anyway, that was her mistake. She let me put the kit in the living room. Now she owns a drum company.
Yep.
Right.
And you're
I think she knows just as much about him as you do.
Oh, she.
Oh, we talked about
I'm
this.
telling
Yeah,
you.
she's super talented.
Yeah.
We got to get her in here because she's kind of crazy with it.
I mean, she
She's
looked at
so
that
good
and said-
researching.
Check out the
Yeah.
big blue kit behind you here.
Yeah.
See the fractal burning in it?
Yeah.
That's her.
That's all her.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I brought her 2 drums tonight to just do whatever she wants with and make something for me.
There you go.
Well, I just told her I really like one of them to be a lamp. The other one, I don't know, just do something.
Yeah, they do some cool stuff with that too. There's
So we're tinkering with the purse idea, but they might be some fairly valuable Yamahas, so I don't know yet.
He's got to mess around with them.
I bring in the stuff and it's complexing, isn't it, for you? It's like,
I'm going to warn you right now. If you
Peeling off the
let him
layers.
and Connie off the leash on a set of drums, you're going to get back something unique, really cool, 4 times the
I'm
value
looking
it
forward
was.
to it.
Perfect.
Looking forward
That's what we're
to it.
looking for. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But he's established quite the name for himself with the drum company. And when I got here, and my wife was like, "This is my dad," and he was, "Come over." We'd met before this, but he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a dinner jam. Have some musicians over. Have a nice dinner. I'm gonna feed you squirrel boudin balls, and then we're gonna play some music."
I'm in.
Squirrel balls.
Squirrel balls.
Balls.
They're very small.
They were
They're very, very small.
Very, very small.
Hey,
Gotta be careful, you can choke on those things.
But they'll be ready
Yeah,
in
it takes a
15
lot
minutes.
of those legs and boots.
So I saw this.
Tapioca.
I saw this whole thing, and I realized there's a lot of talent in Polk County here. I used to work at a record studio up in Atlanta. Well, I shouldn't say work. I interned and got a lot of learning experience from some very prominent people in the music industry and learned a lot. I got burned out because, especially in like the record label side, there's a lot of politics. There's a lot of drama, and one person looking at you the wrong way can change the entire course of $1 million contract like that. It is so high school, and it burned me out real fast. But my mentor at the time that gave me the best advice I ever got, he said, "Keep what you love for yourself and do something you enjoy for a career." So I made music just something that I kept for myself, and I moved to Hawaii and became a scuba instructor. And I did that for a long time. But after
I've always
having
disagreed with this theory.
yeah. It's the advice that worked for me. It
Well, you're
doesn't-
supposed to. You're the father-in-law.
Yeah,
right?
father-in-law. That's your
You
job.
can't agree.
Proven.
You can't agree with them.
No,
Well,
I got
hold
a
on.
different theory. You want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans.
I've heard that before
They're
too.
going to change it.
No, exactly. But getting married and having kids, and Hawaii is expensive, and I was like, we got to move back here. I thought I was going to continue the dive career here, and it's just not the same. And coming over and being a part of the dinner jam, I was like, I have the skills to like contribute to this industry here. Let's do something. And I told Mark, we should make a podcast. And what was your response?
What's a podcast?
It's the same thing my dad
I mean,
said tonight.
I play drums with butter knives. What the hell's a podcast?
Pretty much.
We told him we were coming over here to do a podcast. My dad's like, "What's a podcast?
What's that?
What's that?"
It's okay. You won't be awake for it anyway.
think a radio show, but on the internet. But
No, he had actually. I had to watch it like 3 or 4 of them after he told us. Like, so I looked at him. I'm like, okay.
So it's a bullshit session.
yeah, pretty much. You sit down, shoot shit.
So what do I have to do? And he's like, just talk. And I'm like,
We established our
Okay.
dynamic.
I got
pretty
to
quickly.
do
drink.
that.
How can I drink and talk at the same time?
So this is going to segue into the next thing I want to talk
Yeah,
about.
let's
But
get out.
we established our dynamic pretty quickly off the bat. I studied journalism in school, and so being able to ask questions and do interviews is something that I have training in and experience in. And Mark's got. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, man. I couldn't help it.
That was good. That was good. Quick. I'll get you that.
It was too easy, man. You teed that thing up, and I had to swing at it.
I've been nice to you because I'm envious of the hair, but we're gonna,
I am a pretty man.
Please don't. I want to see. I want to. Don't be nice.
anyways, but so we kind of settled into this dynamic where he's got a lot of the local connection and from the drumming perspective, and me with the interview side of things and the more, I guess we'd say, technical side of the industry. And we've been able to have a lot of fun with this and get to meet folks like yourselves and see some really cool bands. And we're going to Nashville this summer to do the Nashville drum show.
Music City Drum Show.
Music City Drum
that's
Show, which is
cool.
going to be a lot of
Awesome.
fun.
Last weekend in July. If you're a drummer, it's the best drum show in the world. Yes, I said it.
We will be there
That's
with
cool.
we will be there with this podcast
World.
right next to the main stage. So when they come off the stage, we get to interview them first,
Oh,
and it's gonna
wow.
be a lot of fun.
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
if you
very
find yourself in
cool.
Nashville, come out and see us. We'd love to have you on the show. But we've kind of settled into this nice groove and this nice rhythm where we have that dynamic. So segueing that into you guys as a band, like I'd love to know, like, how did you all find each other? How did you guys find settling into your groove? Are you still settling into your groove? Like, what's your...
Yeah, because we met many band lately that just kind of
formed out of the ether?
formed out of nothing.
You can-
You can take that one.
Go ahead.
So, for me, the first one that I met was Tommy G, the bass player,
Mhm.
and I met him through Billy Long, who we've known for a while. He runs the jams down at Leo's Cigar Bar,
Right.
and
Tuesday nights.
on Tuesday nights, and we would go down there.
Little plug.
And Billy had some originals that he wanted to record in his house before he sold his house in his studio. So he asked me to come in and play drums on some of his originals. So we were working on that, and different people would come in and out and play. So I was used to seeing people I don't know. So one night Tommy G comes in, and he's a bass player. He plays, and after after the night, he asked me, he's like, "Hey, are you in a band?" And I'm like, "Well, not current, not." We had just moved to Florida.
Yeah. We were only here a minute.
We were only here for a short time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said no. And he's like, "Well, here, if you're interested," he gave me his phone number. So I called him up. We got together. I met Seamus and Scott. Little did I know at that time that he was called over there because he was looking for a drummer. So it was kind of like an audition for
Billy
me.
said-
Billy says, "Come on over tonight.
Come on over.
Yeah, I might have
got a
one
drummer
for
for
you."
you. And
So
she
interesting.
sings.
So he just played along with her.
And she's a chick drummer.
Yeah, he just
So,
played along
yeah.
with her.
So you
Gail
kind of
didn't-
got scouted.
I
Yeah,
kinda
Gail
got
didn't have any
scouted in a
idea
way.
what
I
was
had no
going on
idea.
until it was
Yeah.
over, and then
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
how she
that's
fell into
kind
it.
of how it all happened. I met these guys, and actually we melded really
pretty quick.
well, very
Pretty quick.
quickly.
I met Tommy
Which we're lucky.
through Leo's, but I don't even remember meeting him. When I first moved here back in March of 21 down from Denver, I was looking for a band. I was hanging out at the that's what you do if you're looking for a band. You go to the open jams and,
Yeah.
you party and you hang out. And I'd all but given up, quite honest. I was just like, screw it. Nobody wants to sing it or a dime a dozen. So I'm going to learn how to play the bass. And I'm still haven't. I'm just kind of half-assed there, but I'm working on it, man. I enjoy thumping on it.
I've seen you play.
I enjoy thumping on it. She's fun, you know. Hell, I got 3 of them, and I'm not a real bass player. That's kind of scary. But that's kind of much the same thing. You know, Tom asked Billy, you know, hey, we're starting a band. Who do you know any singers? And he says, give that Viking Seamus a call. Billy calls me a Viking. He won't call me an Irishman. He just calls me a Viking. So Tommy G got my number, called me on the phone, and next thing I know, I'm turning my master bedroom into a sound room, and
kind of overnight, really.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much overnight. And we met and had a couple of jam sessions together. Had a very interesting little jaunt with an original keyboard player. That's a story I don't want to go into. But it was...
that was our first keyboard player.
The first keyboard player, yeah. And that was interesting. But the 4 of us settled in, started grooving in some tunes, and July we're playing at Leo's, and off we go, man.
Yeah.
We just have
really become a family, really, because we
are like family.
We got devastated in the hurricane.
Yeah,
we lost almost. Well, her parents lost everything. We lost a lot. First minute after the storm was over, we got calls from everybody in the band. Come over here. You can sleep here. Do your wash. Take your showers. We'll feed you whatever you need. Boom. Scott calls. What do you need? What do you need? Come and, you know, Tommy, what do you need? What do you need?
And we went to Seamus's.
Did some laundry. I mean, you know, and because we were without power, sewer, and water for 10 days in our park. So that's family.
That's a wonderful thing to find.
Yeah,
you can't find
Florida. I've done that several times.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
But in all reality, you know, these guys have become our family. I mean, we moved here. We were here to take care of our parents. Long story, but anyway, that's the real purpose of us being here. But we've really found our family in the music community.
Yeah, and to emphasize on that, you told me a little bit about the storm. You guys came home after the hurricane passed through, and you said the drums were floating in the living room.
The drums were floating around.
Well, we couldn't even get to our house for 3 days.
And a shout out to Phoenix. I got a call a week or 2 later. You know, you got to come up to the jam. I'm like, Phoenix, I didn't even answer the text. Got another text a couple of days later. You got to come to the jam. I finally called her. I said, look, we're underwater here. I said, coming to the jam isn't something that's a possibility right now. She said, no, you don't understand. You got to come. So we ended up going up to the jam, and these guys, all the band knew about it except us. And she put out a benefit. Seamus was up there selling 50-50. She had a silent auction going on. Long story short, we walked away. Jeff gave Gail a set of his drums for her to have so she could keep playing. And $2,500 later, we walked out the door with cash and drums. And
let me add something in here. Let me tell you something that's beautiful about these people in this city, in the music community. All of that, the winner of the 50-50 said keep it.
Yeah. And we didn't even know her.
Didn't even know her.
Yeah, she didn't know us.
And I'm never at a loss for words. And when I got up on the stage, I
was moved.
That happens so often.
Yeah, I was moved
around here, and it's I tell people
you can't put a price on good people.
No, we were so moved by it.
I was speechless. We didn't know what to say on the stage.
Phoenix, Joe.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Thank you
from the bottom of my heart.
They're fantastic people. Yeah.
Schlancha.
There you go. But so, like, to the same credit, while we're honoring Phoenix and Joe here, they kind of gave me my shot to prove what I can do with film and video, as both recommending you guys to me, and vice versa, as well as letting me shoot and film some of their stuff. And I can't thank them enough for giving me that opportunity.
Yeah,
it's awesome. They're fantastic things coming out.
And they jump out and support people 100%.
Yes, they do.
It's not lip service. It's
not just a little. I mean, all the damn way.
Yeah.
Not just a little bit.
Yeah. And you know, they moved here not long before we moved here.
Right.
They're from California, so they have not been in Florida that long either.
No, but they're
known the community.
If you treat them right, they will.
That's just the kind of people they are.
Great people.
That's one of the things that I like about towns like Polk County in general. There's people here are very genuine, and they are very quick. Well, okay, I'm speaking generally. I'm speaking generally. Okay?
Depends what time of year it is. Yeah.
But there's a good sense of people, and they can quickly decipher pretty close to right off the bat who's someone worth backing and who's not. And I think Phoenix and Joe not only qualify for that, but they also exemplify it.
Yeah.
And
Yes, they do.
they really kind of help set the tone. And it's really cool to see people like that here. And you guys as well. I mean, trusting me to
and
do
you're in
stuff
an
with you guys
area
too.
with good people when you come up to a 4-way stop and everybody's going,
And now, see, being from West Texas, that's normal.
You know when the snowbirds are in town.
You sit there for 10 minutes, nobody wants to go. They're always like, you go. And now we're from Detroit. We were like, it's my turn. You know?
I'm going.
Get your ass out of here.
Right away means my right away.
Am I right?
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
I mean, when you're really special in Detroit, you get waved with 2 fingers.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
No, you're not wrong. You can tell when the snowbirds are here because no one stops at 4-way stops.
Yeah, right. But in the summertime,
You get a lot of.
That's just because
Right.
they didn't see it.
Yeah. What's the stop sign?
Gail pulls up there and she's like, no, nobody will go. You know, it's like, go ahead. You were here. Go. No, you go.
But so never too late. The name. First off, cool name. I like the design with the sort of the license plate logo is really cool. Who came up with that? How did you come up with that?
That was Seamus.
Seamus?
Jameson.
Right. Jameson.
There we go.
Me and John Jameson, we had a long conversation one evening. We were talking about it over a grand bottle we were.
There's a lot of science and data.
It just, I wanted something fun, unique, and I was just kind of playing around with all kinds of different, license plate kind of things that would work. And when I settled on it in my head, I still had to sell them on it, of course. But when I settled on it in my head, I'm like, that's exactly who we are. I mean, we've got
Exactly.
Gail. This is her first band ever.
Yeah.
I've been in a couple of really small projects, but this is my first, what I consider a real project.
Yeah.
Tommy and Scott. Scott, he's the man's a virtuoso bass player. He's been in the music scene more years than I can count. Tommy's been around a long time. But we looked at each other, and this is Scott, give you props on this. He looked at us one time about 6 or 7 months in. And he says, "Look, you need to understand something. It is so hard to find what we have."
Yeah.
I think every single episode of the podcast we have touched
Do
on
not
that.
screw this up. We're and dare I say it, we're old. I'm the pup in this group, and
Yeah, we're old.
I'm 57 years old. For me to think I'm gonna hook up with some 20-something, 30-something new upstart band, they're gonna want to go on tour. They're gonna want to cut albums and do originals. And man, I just want to play. I just want to have fun on stage and act a fool with people that I dig. And it's just never too late to rock and roll, man.
And we let them.
Amen to that. I was going to ask, the theme never there seems to be this common thing. You wanted to play drums as a kid and never really got the chance and went off and did other things. But it was never too late for you to get back into
For
it.
all of us.
You talked about coming here to Florida, and you kind of gotten a little burnt out, it sounds like, and you were just kind of like, maybe music's like no one wants a singer, or maybe I'll give bass a try, but it's never too late.
I had multiple tries and fails with a couple of different bands going on here. One of them didn't even let me try out because they tried out some guy that couldn't sing, but he could play bass too, so he got the part, and I didn't even get to try out. That kind of, and that's the one that kind of crushed me.
Yeah,
and that's when I said, you know what, screw this.
Didn't even get a shot.
And I went and I bought me $100 Jackson off of Amazon, piece of crap, but I loved her, and I
She's cheap and I like her.
I started playing. I just started playing and started doing the web learning and a little Rocksmith. Any of you guys out there that are just trying to learn it, I'm telling you, Rocksmith is a great way to get started. $50. Sorry, shameless plug. It's not mine, but it's a great little program, man, and it lets you. It's like what was that stupid video game with the
Guitar Hero?
Guitar Hero. It's like Guitar Hero with a real instrument.
Yeah. No,
And
we're getting my son plugged into that.
It's a beautiful way to start, man. You start playing music right away.
We haven't talked much about is different learning platforms that are available now that we didn't have. Well,
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I say we didn't have. I didn't
have nothing
until I had all this shit now.
Yeah.
But I started with Drumeo, which is online
Mhm.
thing.
Drum school, yeah.
But I was old enough by then. I mean, to know it's like you can't tell me how to think. So it was pretty easy to realize that I could learn from the greatest drummers in the world.
Right.
I mean, Phil Collins, it's just so many drummers are on there. Todd Zuckerman, one of my favorites, but so many people on there that you can learn from. So I joined them and, of course, had the money. So I went ahead and got the lifetime membership because I know I'd spend that in 3 years anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, real quick, you mentioned Phil Collins. These guys do a fantastic cover of Misunderstanding. But it was a Genesis that did that?
It's a fun one.
Genesis.
Yeah. One of our favorites, yeah.
Which is my all-time favorite band.
I will say this. A lot of people... I will say this.
She's into Peter Gabriel.
A lot of people shit.
Post Peter Gabriel.
Okay. I will say this. A lot of people shit on Genesis.
They do.
I frankly, I don't understand it. I find a lot of their music really fun. And it's not Van Halen or Def Leppard for the era that it was in or all that stuff, but it was unique. It was fun, and you can never mistake Phil Collins' voice.
Never mistake.
He's a beast on the drums, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Between Phil and Peter, they got so technical and so advanced in their music abilities and how they played that it was... It was above everybody's head.
That's true, but they were never big together. They only got big when they separated.
Right.
Phil Collins was...
They had several really good albums.
They did, but Peter Gabriel got really big after he left Genesis.
Yes.
And Genesis got big
after
Peter Gabriel left. Bigger than they had been before. Just my opinion.
Oh, and Phil had a
They're very
great
good
solo
musicians.
career, And
but now we're only talking about two of the musicians in Genesis.
Tony Rutherford and Mike Banks.
Where'd they go?
They're still there.
I was going to say we have a measuring contest. You can name members of the band.
musicians or whatever.
Tony Rutherford cut a couple albums. He cut a couple
She knows
albums.
every band member of every band. She's a music.
Never had the same
She's
thing.
got it all.
I'm a big progressive rock fan, so
Okay.
and I like Rush too. I love Rush.
my all-time favorite, man.
But
Geddy Lee's
like Genesis.
Geddy Lee's a beast. Neil Peart.
She should be on that show, Name That Tune. Because when we sit out at night, listen to music, like as soon as the first three notes of the song come out, she's like, "Oh, that's so and so from that so and so."
That'd be
I
awesome.
used to be able to
And
do
of course,
that.
I don't believe her. So I look at me. What's that?
I used to be able to do that.
Yeah, and then he started playing drums and went deaf.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, huh?
What? Huh?
Who are you?
That is nothing.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, that's kind of our story. That's how we got going, man. It's never too late to rock and roll. It's never too late to jump out there and do it. And I tell anybody that's looking at this, any of you 40, 50, 60-year-olds, you ain't never been in a band, you think you got something?
Thanks for bringing the 60
Step up.
Yeah, thanks for bringing the 6-year-old in there.
Appreciate
Wait,
that.
After that,
like 40s, 50s, and well, if you're 60, it's too
after
late.
60, after 65 or so,
It's time to retire.
But that's just the point of our logo of the name. It's never too late to jump out there and do something that you love. If you fall on your ass, so what? You tried. Give it a shot, man, because you don't know. You can have a great time. And that's all we step out to do.
We're having a great time.
That's all we do is step out there and try to have fun, man.
And that's a
we have
beautiful
a great
message.
time.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. A beautiful message, man. I appreciate what you guys are. Welcome to the scene. I think everybody that I have sent to you has come back and said they were very impressed. You guys did the show at Tanner's not that long ago.
Yeah.
I got compliments like, "Is that band you were working with?" I was like, "I mean,
that was a good show."
And they went,
cool.
They sounded phenomenal. They had a lot of fun. Mark and Connie were like, "Yeah, these guys are great." And I was like, they're fresh on the scene, man, and they're ready to tear it up.
That's cool.
We're looking forward to see what you guys put together.
Happy to entertain, man.
It's
That's
getting
what it's all
tighter. It's
about.
getting tighter all the time.
Yeah.
They're getting tighter all the time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
They're playing all the songs what we
this is
kind of our motto is we play all the songs that you forgot you loved.
Oh yeah, I need to put that on your EPK page because I couldn't remember what that quote was.
Yeah.
But I need to put that on the EPK
And
page.
we do have a lot of one-hit wonders of songs that everybody loved them, but they were one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
You know,
Or you just don't hear them played
you
out.
don't hear them played out very
And
often.
that's the point.
What's that?
Goat Yay.
No,
Go, yeah.
no, I don't think anybody loves that one.
It might be
I do.
It might be too
It's
late.
actually fun.
It may
to
be
play.
too
It might be too late for that one.
It might be too late for that
Honestly, I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think it was Joan Jett saying Reputation. I don't give a damn about my reputation.
Yeah.
I think you guys could kill that. I think that'd be fun.
That would be
That's
good.
that's my suggestion. I'd love to hear you guys do
one.
that.
What
I
we
like
mean
Jim
by
Jett.
the songs you forgot you love is again, Scott has been in cover bands. He played on the West Coast, the beach scene for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, high profile, lots of money, big productions. But you got to do the things, and you got to take requests, and you got to do all this, and that's just not where we want to be.
Yeah.
We want to do the songs that other people don't do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're bringing out Twilight Zone. You know,
Oh, okay.
I mean, we throw that one out there. We do Jet. Are you going to be my girl? I've never heard anybody do that one live.
That's true. That's a good point.
You know,
guys
and
did
we-
a good job with
That's what I'm
Jet.
saying. We try to throw some stuff out there that other people don't do, but it's still stuff you remember. Maybe it's B-side.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And there's nothing wrong with that. I
and
think it's a great
because
space to
we
fill.
don't want to do the same show that everybody else does, even if we do it better. We
Yeah.
want to do a different show.
And to that exact same note, we've had a couple of episodes, freaking tonight even, where we've talked about how there's this hunger for something new because a lot of the bands play a lot of the same things.
They do.
And everybody has their own variety. So you can go see two different bands play the same song and it's not going to be the same song.
Right.
Like, so I'm not trying to shit on anybody. Play what you love. Play what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
good
do
at,
your
have a
thing,
good
man.
time.
Do your thing.
But I do think that there is a hunger and a space to fill with those songs, and you guys are hitting that.
It's true. You see
nicely.
it. When you
Yeah.
see people, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I haven't heard this
I
song in
haven't heard
forever.
this song.
And they were
What's that when we pulled that? We pulled Aaliyah
We
out of our butt.
Aaliyah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good Lord.
Donnie
Donnie
Iris.
Iris.
Yeah.
Iris,
We
yeah.
pulled that out of our ass
I
one
had that
time.
on 8-track.
Yeah.
Man, that is
That's
a
a great
beast.
song.
It is a beast song, man. That is hard, but we had so much fun doing it, and it's kind of sidelined right now. We'll bring it back maybe one of these days. But
Well, they work really hard in practice to come up with songs that they think that they can do. Number one, good,
Okay.
but also songs that you don't hear played out.
So this segues into probably my last question for the evening before we start wrapping things up here.
We got to get rid of that segue word.
You don't like segue?
No,
they're fun
we
as
gotta
hell,
go
man. You
back-
ever been on one? They're
You know
fun as
why?
hell.
No, I'm just tired of that.
That
damn
means it's
word.
ending, right?
No,
It's
it's
like the
like
end.
No, segue is the transition.
That's the most
I
old man
just think
thing you
it's-
could say.
I
I'm
just
tired
think
of
it's
that
just-
word.
I think it's just
Sounds like a crotchety old man over here. doesn't it?
Doesn't he? It's my father-in-law.
Don't you think it's a fucking stupid ass word to say? Let's move on to something
Now that you
else.
brought it up, Mark, I thought it sucked really, but I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, segues.
Right,
Let's
you
just
guys.
fucking move on to something
I mean, he's
else.
working on my drums and he fed me. What do you want me to say?
Control lost.
I know,
Gone.
right?
Control's gone.
Yeah.
What little bit you had is over.
I'm the only one that hasn't drank.
You fucked up when you said old man.
Right.
I'm the
Is he
puppet this
talking
time.
about us?
Yes, you are.
I'm feeling good about that. Yeah.
I'm the young kid.
I'm feeling good about that.
But hey,
All
so
So anyway, this segue
I have a question to ask before we move on to end the show. All right.
So we're going into a new segue.
Yeah.
There we go. Going into a new segue.
We're segueing into the
We're
segue.
going to segue into the
Why didn't you
segue.
just say so?
I'm going to show up at your house next week on a fucking segue.
Oh, you'll fall off. Then.
Oh, will I? I'm
They're
still
fun as
young,
hell. I like
motherfucker. I'll do it.
Anyway.
But anyways, so is there any songs that you guys have that you're working on that you haven't played yet, or something that you really want to do that we could tease everybody with? That
We got some Queen we're working on.
okay,
Yes, we
And
do have
Queen
some
is one of those things you don't touch
yeah,
because if you can't do it right,
Somebody's going.
don't even bother.
And it's not even the music; it's the harmony.
It's the harmonies that are
you
kicking
gotta
our
get the
ass.
harmony.
Yeah.
Oh, I know which one you're trying.
Maybe you did, maybe you don't.
And I'm just gonna say, someone Okay.
Which one?
Wow, you wimped out halfway through
She
that
did.
one.
Oh, she
Quick.
did.
Wow, she bailed right out.
Oh,
Go ahead, say it,
I
baby.
wanted to say it.
Say it.
Spotlight's on
Well,
you. now.
are you?
Say
You're
it.
poking at me because I'm the one that can't find the damn
He's the one
harmony.
that can't find his
I
note.
can't find the damn harmony. But
Wow.
okay, thank you.
She just threw
You know
your
what?
ass right under the
I
bus.
kinda did.
I'm gonna
Hey, you
do.
brought up the Queen
It's
sound.
I'm gonna do
4-4.
Seamus a solid here. The front man's not supposed to find the harmony.
Actually,
But what you got?
Actually, this is
We
the
all
Scott
do.
song.
We all find the harmony
Actually, Scott's
because believe it
singing
or
this
not,
song.
Scott's doing the lead.
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
he
I'm
is.
backing you up right now.
I know, but I got to be an honest broker, baby. I got to be an honest broker.
Fair enough.
Scott's doing the lead on this one, and Gail and I are picking up the harmonies on it.
Okay.
And it's just, I'm just not hearing it. I was 12 years a soldier, man. Big guns go boom. I hear ringing in my ears constantly. I got tinnitus from hell, and there's certain notes I just can't hear. And I'll be honest with you, it's kicking my ass.
Gail's a drummer.
We're breaking out
I am.
some April wine too.
We're
We
bringing
are.
out some April wine.
And we're working on a Pat Benatar song cover of John Cougar's.
Yeah.
With John
I
Cougar.
mean, we got.
You just got him excited.
Yeah.
So we got
He's
some
a
stuff.
big
Yeah, we
fanboy
got
of
some
John
stuff
Cougar.
going on.
I got 2 4x4 sheets of
They
whiteboard
started doing
plastered
some
up on the
Blondie.
wall, and the set list goes
Some
on one
Blondie.
of
We
them,
talked about
and new
Blondie,
shit
yeah.
goes on the other one.
Okay.
And we're always working shit out, and we'll play it, we'll get to it, and if it doesn't work, we shit can it and move on to the next one,
There's
man.
going to be a couple new ones
Yeah.
probably this
There's-
weekend
yeah.
coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I think there'll be at least 2 new ones coming out this weekend.
Super awesome. Okay, so as we close the show out, is there anything
Because
this will take a couple months to come out? So is there
Sure.
any big things this summer shows that you want to plug?
Like up in July.
Oh man, I don't think that's long-term planning for me.
Well,
That is long-term
Well,
planning
just-
for us.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the bigger shows you do have to plan ahead.
Yeah,
So
we're
is there
trying to
anything-
get some we're starting to get a little bit of traction now, and,
Okay.
and I'm gonna throw a little bone out to you. You've been helping us with video and getting us going, and we really appreciate it. I think it's helping us make contact with some of the bigger places that we're working towards. And we'd like to work our way into moving out of Polk County here and there a little bit and spreading our wings into some bigger venues and so on. And you're helping us with that. And so
Maybe some festivals.
so
and
yeah,
some-
we're hitting. We're got some
We've got a wedding
festivals on
coming
our.
up. We're gonna do. You're
We've
gonna
got
do a
kind of
dude's
a-
wedding.
There you go.
Yeah, we've got kind of a hit list on a board at our house that Gail and I put together of festivals and things that we're making contact with. So hopefully this time next year we'll have picked up quite a bit of traction.
Dave,
so.
that's a big shout out to you because I mean I've sat down with you and talked to you.
Yeah.
You definitely know how to pound the pavement and knock on
Yeah.
doors until they open. That's a skill you can't teach.
Well, he threatens to put.
Give
them concrete shoes.
People, we don't know how to retire.
Well, I tell you what,
No, you don't.
And he doesn't
honestly,
take no for an answer. He doesn't.
rejection doesn't bother me.
bother him.
I mean,
But that's a
honestly,
skill that a lot of younger people need to learn. Is
Yeah.
that rejection shouldn't bother
Because
you.
it's not
Pick
really
yourself up and keep going, like you were
It's
saying
not really
earlier.
rejection. It's just
Not
either they're
getting
too
it at the right
busy
time.
or they don't. It's like, okay, well, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me rephrase that. It's not rejection, but being able to take a door closed in your face and not take it personally.
Right.
Yes.
And that's
Right.
something that a lot of people need to learn.
Yeah.
And that's a valuable skill to have, man. That's good. And that's on you. That's
it's
awesome.
because I can't carry a note or play a tune or anything, so I really don't have a choice.
No, but
you know
I
what
heard
mean?
you are getting good at mixing sound, which
I
is
tell
awesome.
you what,
to hear.
this jackass can put some drums together, though.
I can
We
put
got
some
a good
drums
roadie.
together.
We got a good
Yeah.
roadie.
He put some drums together, by God.
And really,
I'll teach you how to be a
really,
drum
my
tech.
happiness comes from seeing my wife's Gail's happiness. I mean, when I see her playing
Aw.
drums and she's smiling up there and having a good time, and she brings her 8 or 10 songs to the show, and it's a complete opposite of Seamus, and it's what really makes it work. I think the band is that he gets a blow once in a while, and she brings out a chick song, and then he goes right back into bringing the house down with what he does, and it's a
And I only show her my ass 2 or 3 times a night.
Only.
Right.
The wind blows just
Well,
right.
if it's-
only a couple of
if
times.
it's not yours, it's Tom's. So I mean.
A couple times.
That's when he's adjusting his pedal.
Oh,
Gail, we
I see
need
it all. I
There's
see
a
it all.
reason we need risers.
I know. Tell me about it. I see it all, and I don't want to.
I don't.
It sounds
you
like
know.
it sounds like when Tom adjusts his pedal, everybody gets a riser.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
Seamus doesn't have to see anything. He stands out in front.
Well, Scott built the riser for Gail so that she didn't have to sit there and look at the back of his kneecaps all night long.
All right.
Fair enough. Well, so that is one thing that I did want to touch on. I'm glad we circled back around to this. I didn't use that word. I said circled back around to it. Your guys, your ability to be able to shift and you take lead and you give Seamus a break and for Seamus to come back in is so seamless. You would have thought you guys have been playing together for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
You both do
we reherse a lot.
Smashing job.
We do
That's
rehearse.
good.
But,
We rehearse a lot.
There's something to be said for
Our
that.
voices fit together. Like in my opinion, there's nothing like a guy and guy-girl
Harmony.
combo.
I was like, where are we going?
Yeah, harmony.
I
Okay.
was like, your husband's right there.
I'm getting flush.
Same thing. Different context.
Is this a new segue? This is a new segue?
I'm finna found a name for myself in
What
here.
kind of show are we doing?
Right.
I'll show you a
And we're
segue.
checking out the
Second ago.
I'll give you a segue. Wrap your hands around this.
Don't fall off. Jesus.
Is it
What was I
bigger
gonna-
than your mug?
Well, it's empty now. It's very sad. It is.
Well, I think we need to wrap this up so we can
We
go
get
out there
more to
and
drink.
get you another
Yeah.
mug
I need a
full.
beer.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for being out here.
Oh,
Check out
thank you.
Never Too Late
Yeah.
everywhere out in Polk County and hopefully beyond very, very, very soon. Guys, thank you so much for being out here tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Hang out.
Yeah, we had a great
appreciate
time. We had a
it.
great
Come out.
Peace
time.
out.
Come on out and check us
Thanks,
out.
guys.
Of course, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you for your
Thanks,
service,
brother.
by the way. Both of you.
Yeah.